Hey, how are you? I'm so glad you could be here with me on Heather's Healthy Cuisine. Tonight we're gonna make something that really says summer, and there's nothing that says summer produce like tomatoes. So we're gonna make a caprese salad, and then for our main dish, fried chicken thighs, and then for dessert, a peanut butter chocolate chunk blondies. And you're not gonna believe what we're gonna make out of the base of that tonight. And that's where we're gonna start, is with the dessert. And it's really weird, but these are made with garbanzo beans, and not garbanzo bean flour, but real garbanzo beans. So I've already taken 2 cans of garbanzo beans, put them in my food processor. You can see they are totally pureed with 2 tablespoons of almond milk. So they're totally smooth. And I'm gonna add them to 1 cup of smooth peanut butter in my glass bowl. You could use almond butter if you want, but I'm going for the peanut butter so that you get a little bit of sweet taste, but you do want to make sure that your brand doesn't have cane sugar added. That's just peanuts in there. So we're going to add those together. So of course, like I always say, check your list of ingredients. You don't want to add sugar because we're going to add our own sweetener in here. Something about the garbanzo beans just adds some moisture, obviously, to this recipe. And it works, but it's kind of crazy. So totally gluten-free if you are sensitive to gluten. So we've got our 2 cans of garbanzo beans pureed in almond milk, 1 cup of smooth peanut butter, and we're gonna add 1 cup of coconut sugar. I've showed you guys this before in a couple other recipes. It kind of looks like brown sugar, but it won't spike up your blood sugar. It smells really good, tastes really good in all your baked goods. Use it in the exact same way you would white sugar, just replace it. Then we're gonna have a teaspoon of baking powder, and a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. And then we've got some pure vanilla extract, 1 teaspoon in there. And then we already have our almond milk in. Just go ahead and press that together. Of course, you want to incorporate your peanut butter and your garbanzo beans together. Mix it by hand. I've already got a 9 by 13 baking dish greased, ready to go. And so once I spread this in there, it'll spread kind of thin. As with all baked goods, you don't want to over bake this because it'll dry it out. So all I'm doing with my rubber scraper is just really pressing into the peanut butter to make sure it gets mixed thoroughly. You really could put the peanut butter in with the garbanzo beans, but it makes your food processor pretty messed up, kind of sticks in the nooks and crannies there, so I always choose to just do it by hand. So anyway, you're gonna get that all mixed together, and once this is all incorporated and mixed and smooth, and you see your peanut butter in there together, last thing you're gonna do is fold in your chocolate, which is really, we're using pure cacao. And I'm sure you've heard of cacao or dark chocolate. And I like to use this brand, but you really can use any brand. But what you're looking for is unsweetened chocolate or all natural. You can see right here, it says 100% cacao. And so what you probably know about dark chocolate is it's full of antioxidants, which are great. And the thing you might not know about it is that dark chocolate is fermented. And so anything fermented is really good for your digestion. So that's the big deal about cacao. So all I've taken, these come in 2-ounce bars. So I'm actually gonna use 1.5 ounces. I've kept it in one of its little packages. If you have a kitchen mallet, I've just pounded it right in the package to create some chocolate chunks. So I'm just gonna dump those right into the batter. I'm gonna stir it up and put it, smooth it evenly in my baking dish and pop it in the oven. Okay, now time for the fried chicken. And the type of chicken that I'm using are skinless chicken thighs. Why am I using chicken thighs and not chicken breast? I thought the breast meat is the best, the healthiest to eat. Well, chicken breast is great, but it's also considered a muscle meat. And so you want to get some dark meat in your diet as well. So the chicken thighs are a little fattier. You want to have some dark meat in there, and this is just a good alternative. So, and dark meat is very moist and flavorful. You'll see there's quite a bit of oil in there. Okay, what oil am I using? I'm using grapeseed oil. So a couple advantages of grapeseed oil is, number one, there's no flavor to it. And so if you want flavor to come out in whatever it is that you're cooking and not necessarily the oil, then this is a good one to use. And number two, you can actually fry with this and even bake with it. You can use it on high heat. Whereas something like olive oil, you have to keep it really, really low, just barely a saute, or it denatures the really good fats in it. And so this, you know, you've probably heard of frying or baking with coconut oil, which is great too. But coconut oil is such a strong flavor that you don't always want to use that. So this is a great alternative if you want to fry or bake with an oil. So that's all we're doing with our chicken. I'm using a heavy iron skillet, and you can also use a big frying pan. The advantage to an iron skillet, just as a side note, is that it does give off a little bit of iron into your food, and it cooks really evenly. So once this gets going, all I'm gonna add to it is some onion powder. Just gonna sprinkle it pretty generously. You can see that I really put on a lot of spices on my food. I'm also using garlic powder. If you really want to infuse this, you could do fresh garlic in your oil before you actually put the chicken in. And then I've got crushed organic rosemary. Rosemary goes so perfectly with chicken. And that's all that's in there. So that will cook and that will get going, and you'll be safe using your grapeseed oil. So now that our chicken is going, we are gonna put together the Caprese salad, and it's really, really good if you have your own fresh tomatoes out of your garden. But unfortunately, I have a black thumb. I cannot grow anything. As much as I love fruits and veggies, I can't grow anything. So these are just great if you have your own tomatoes. Perfect. Tomatoes, you've got your buffalo mozzarella, and of course fresh basil. So we're gonna put this together. I have a really oversized platter here, but just making this simple salad look pretty is what makes it seem special. And that's really one of the techniques with eating healthy, is taking really simple ingredients and then making it look really pretty. It feels like it's gourmet when it's just so easy to make. And then you just take a few extra minutes, make it look pretty on a plate, and you tend to eat it a little bit slower and enjoy it. You could do this on individual plates for everybody, but I'm just making it for the whole family like this, and people can serve themselves. I'm gonna bunch these together. A few more tomatoes on there. Okay. All right, so that looks great. So now what we're gonna do is get our fresh basil leaves. All I'm gonna do is kind of tuck them in there and just kind of go to the sides a little bit, trying to make it look artistic, but it's so simple. Get a few more on there. fresh basil is so good. Okay. The other thing I'm gonna do to serve this, okay, is salt and pepper, of course. I've just got sea salt and some black pepper. Cheese is pretty salty, so I'm not gonna put too much on there. Some black pepper so you can see it on top of the cheese. This is fresh, coarse ground. And then I'm actually not gonna put any olive oil or balsamic. I'm actually gonna serve these to the side and just sit them here so people can drizzle as much as they want. Some people might not want oil since we have a lot of oil in our chicken tonight, but all I've done is gotten this cute container and filled it with olive oil, and the little leaves in there are bay leaves, and it just infuses. You can also add some thyme, some rosemary sprigs in there, garlic if you want, but it makes it look really fancy and it's really not. So you can drizzle that on there, and as well as balsamic you can put to the side. And then I would just serve this with some tongs and they can grab it. So you can see how beautiful that looks on the platter, and it's ready to go. Our chicken is all finished. You can see it's a nice golden brown, rosemary. All I'm doing to serve it is I've served it on a bed of greens. These are just spring greens. You can choose anything, but our meal definitely needs a little bit more green in there. So just place it on there. It will soak up some of the grapeseed oil. And then just to finish it off, you're going to make it seem like it is kind of a chicken salad. So I'm gonna use this dressing. It actually comes in a 2-pack. It's Avocado Ranch, and I'm just gonna drizzle it over the top. And you can check out the list of ingredients. They're really simple, really yummy. There's no weird preservatives or cane sugar in there. They actually use white grape concentrate to sweeten it with. But I'm just gonna drizzle it over the top so that when people serve themselves, it kind of seems like it's a salad. And it looks really nice with a little bit of drizzle on the top. And our main dish is done. Here we go, dinner's ready. We've got our Caprese salad, our fried chicken thighs with our Avocado Ranch dressing and greens. And then our dessert turned out great. You can see the chocolate chunks. It's gonna be yummy to finish out our meal. I hope you enjoy this yummy dinner with your family or friends. Bon appetit.